The AI industry is turning into an intense battleground, with OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google all calling for action against a Chinese AI lab named DeepSeek. OpenAI, in particular, has labeled DeepSeek as a potential national security threat, urging the U.S. government to ban its AI models, especially in regions under strict export restrictions. Currently, these restrictions limit the sale of high-performance AI chips to China and its allied nations. OpenAI argues that if hardware exports are controlled, a models built in China should be as well, citing concerns over China's data processing laws. These laws could potentially allow the Chinese government access to any data processed by a Chinese tech firm, raising fears of privacy breaches, intellectual property theft, and security risks. OpenAI has even suggested that DeepSeek may have leveraged knowledge from its own models, though no solid proof has been presented. While DeepSeek started as a spin-off from a hedge fund, not a government institution, its founder's recent meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping has fueled speculation that China sees it as a strategic asset. OpenAI's warnings also tie into a broader argument they're making, that UCI firms need unrestricted access to copyrighted material for training purposes, or they risk falling behind Chinese competitors. They claim that China, with looser copyright regulations, could gain an unfair advantage in the AI race. Other AI giants have weighed in as well. Anthropic has warned that DeepSeek's latest model, R1, shows advanced reasoning and reportedly answers dangerous questions about biological threats, an alarming prospect in terms of AI safety. Meanwhile, Google has taken a more measured stance, acknowledging national security concerns but warning against overregulation that could stifle U.S. innovation. This controversy highlights a deeper irony. OpenAI's own models are heavily restricted, with built-in filters controlling what users can and cannot do, which some argue contradicts their push for democratic AI. Additionally, OpenAI and Anthropic are calling for major infrastructure expansions, emphasizing the need for significant government investment in AI development to maintain U.S. dominance. OpenAI, for instance, claims that training future AI models will require an additional 50 gigawatts of power by 2027. On the regulatory front, OpenAI has proposed a centralized federal AI policy to avoid inconsistent state-level regulations. They also advocate for government adoption of AI, streamlined procurement processes, and a federal agency to evaluate AI models for national security risks. Their goal is clear: maintain USA supremacy and restrict access to cutting-edge AI technology for nations they view as adversaries. Meanwhile, tensions between OpenAI and Elon Musk have escalated. Musk, who co-founded OpenAI but later left to create his own AI company, xAI, is suing OpenAI, claiming they abandoned their original mission of developing AI for the benefit of humanity in favor of profit-driven goals. OpenAI defends its transition to a for-profit model, arguing that massive funding like the $6.6 billion they recently raised and a potential $40 billion investment from SoftBank necessitates such a structure. Musk even attempted a massive $97.4 billion takeover bid, which OpenAI rejected outright. With both sides pushing for a fast-track trial, a legal showdown is expected this autumn. At the core of this issue is a growing divide between national security, ethics, corporate eminence, and international competition. OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google are aligned in advocating for tighter controls on AI exports and government-backed expansion of AI capabilities. However, their motivations vary. Anthropic emphasizes biosecurity. OpenAI frames the issue as a battle between democratic and authoritarian AI, and Google seeks a balanced approach that avoids excessive restrictions. Critics argue that OpenAI and its allies are more focused on eliminating competition than improving their own models. OpenAI's latest release, GPT 4.5, has been widely considered a disappointment, suggesting they might benefit more from refining their technology rather than pushing for bans on rival AI firms. As the AI race heats up, the industry faces a critical juncture. Will it prioritize innovation and fair competition, or rely on regulatory roadblocks to maintain dominance? The outcome will shape not only the future of AI but also global power dynamics in the tech world. Let us know your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for more updates. In a stunning move that could reshape the global AI landscape, OpenAI, Anthropic and Google are joining forces to call for a complete ban on DeepSeek. What's shocking is not just the proposal itself, but the urgency with which it's being made. In a joint letter addressed to the U.S. government, these tech giants are urging immediate action to block DeepSeek's AI models, especially in regions under strict export restrictions. But why are they targeting DeepSeek so aggressively? And what does this escalating conflict reveal about the cutthroat AI race? Let's dive deep into the heart of the matter and find out. But before we get into it, make sure to hit that like button so you don't miss out on any future updates. Now let's get back to the video. You see, the AI industry is quickly turning into an intense battleground with rivals forming alliances, breaking away and lashing out at one another. Recently, OpenAI, the brains behind ChatGPT, took a surprising turn when it labeled DeepMind, a Chinese AI lab, as a potential national security threat. It's like they found a new villain in town. In a letter addressed to the Committee on Foreign Investments in the United States, OpenAI threw some serious shade at DeepMind's parent company, a financial giant called Hopu Investments. They expressed concerns that China's data processing laws could pose a security risk if DeepMind's AI models were to end up there. Let me break it down for you. Hopu Investments is a leading private equity firm based in China with a hefty war chest of nearly $80 billion. They've got their fingers in various pies, including artificial intelligence, healthcare, consumer products, and financial services. One of their most notable investments is DeepMind, which they acquired in 2019 for a staggering $3.4 billion. So what's the big deal with DeepMind? Well, this company has been making some serious moves in the AI world. Founded in 2019, it's already become one of the top players in China's AI space. They've got over 2,000 employees, 90% of whom are reportedly dedicated to research and development. And guess what? They're on the verge of launching a new AI model that's causing quite a stir. So here's the backstory. A few months ago, OpenAI dropped a bombshell when they accused DeepSeek's founder, Professor Li Kai, of stealing trade secrets. It's like a real-life corporate espionage thriller. Now hold on to your seats because the drama thickens. Professor Li met with no other than Chinese President Xi Jinping in May, fueling speculation that China considers DeepMind a strategic asset. Just imagine the intrigue. In fact, rumors are swirling that China's top leadership has been involved in setting up DeepMind as part of Beijing's plan to dominate the global AI race. According to informed sources, Premier Li Keqiang and Vice Premier Han Zheng have been instrumental in supporting DeepMind's growth. Premier Li reportedly summoned executives from internet companies in 2019 to express his admiration for AlphaGo, DeepMind's groundbreaking AI program that defeated a human champion at the complex board game, Go. He even praised DeepMind's work on protein folding, highlighting its potential impact on healthcare and pharmaceuticals. Vice Premier Han has also been actively involved, leveraging his connections in the financial world to help secure funding for DeepMind. But wait, there's more. It gets even crazier. You see, China has set an ambitious goal to have its AI-powered robots serve 1 million people by 2030. This isn't just some futuristic fantasy. It's a concrete plan laid out by President Xi Jinping himself. President Xi envisions a future where AI-driven robots are deeply integrated into our daily lives, from healthcare to manufacturing. And DeepMind is right at the forefront of this mission. And now here comes the plot twist. OpenAI is using this national security narrative as a smokescreen to hide its own aggressive business tactics. Remember, OpenAI wants DeepMind banned, especially in regions with strict AI export rules. Why? Simple. It's all about protecting their turf. You see, currently these rules limit the sale of high-performance AI chips to China and its allied nations. But OpenAI argues that if hardware exports are controlled, AI models built in China should be too. They cite worries that China's data processing laws could come into play here. China's data laws, you know, the ones that say any Chinese tech firm processing data must comply with government requests. That could mean the Chinese government getting access to any data processed by a Chinese AI model. And that's exactly what OpenAI wants to prevent. They believe DeepMind could end up sharing sensitive information with the Chinese government, posing a threat to U.S. national security. Here's the thing. DeepMind didn't start as some shady government project. It was actually a spin-off from a hedge fund. Yes, a financial firm. But here's the kicker. Its founder, Professor Li, has close ties to China's ruling Communist Party. He is a member of the Chinese Academy of Sciences and has served on several government-backed think tanks focused on AI strategy. So it's no surprise that China has taken notice of his work and offered support. It's just good old-fashioned networking and strategic thinking. But OpenAI's playing a dangerous game here. They're trying to paint DeepMind as a national security threat, even though there's no solid proof that China is forcing them to share data. It's all based on speculation and fear-mongering. And let's not forget about the timing. Just days after DeepMind announced plans to launch its latest model, R1, OpenAI drops this bombshell. It's like they were trying to sabotage DeepMind's reputation and keep them from gaining ground in the AI race. But wait, there's more. OpenAI is taking things a step further by claiming that DeepMind might have used knowledge from its own models in its latest release. And you won't believe what they're saying. It's like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. According to a blog post, they analyzed R1 and came to the wild conclusion that it likely used information from OpenAI's earlier models, specifically GPT 3.5. They say that R1 seems to have studied GPT 3.5 outputs and internal model data. Can you even imagine? It's mind-boggling to think that someone would go to such lengths to get ahead in the AI race. But here's the thing. OpenAI hasn't provided any concrete evidence to back up these claims. It's all speculation and conjecture. I mean, how can they analyze R1 without actually having access to it? It's like judging a book by its cover. And here's another twist. OpenAI's own models are heavily restricted. They've got built-in filters that control what users can do and what they can't. It's like they're preaching water but drinking wine. They want to talk about democratic essay, but their own models are anything but. What's truly ironic is that OpenAI and its allies are also calling for a major infrastructure expansion in the US. They are urging the government to invest heavily in AI development to maintain the country's edge in the global race. They argue that China, with its looser copyright regulations, could gain an unfair advantage by using vast amounts of copyrighted material to train AI models. And they're not wrong. China's AI companies enjoy more freedom when it comes to using copyrighted data, thanks to the country's different legal system. However, it's not as simple as just throwing money at the problem. Building and training large language models requires a ton of computing power, time, and expertise. It's a complex process that involves massive datasets and specialized hardware. And while China has been investing heavily in AI infrastructure, the US still dominates in many areas, including the development of advanced hardware, software, and algorithms. OpenAI is literally asking for 50 gigawatts of additional power by 2027, which is enough to power roughly 10 million homes. They're talking about building new data centers, expanding access to renewable energy, and developing more efficient hardware. It's a bold proposal, but it comes with a hefty price tag. We're talking billions, if not tens of billions of dollars, and who's going to foot the bill? Taxpayers, of course. Some critics argue that OpenAI and its allies are more focused on eliminating competition than improving their own models. Take their latest release, GPT 4.5, for example. It was supposed to be a game changer, but it fell short of expectations. Many users were left disappointed, wondering if all the hype was just hot air. Could it be that OpenAI needs to focus on refining their own technology instead of trying to knock out the competition? Now let's switch gears and talk about the latest chapter in the never-ending saga between Elon Musk and OpenAI. This tech titan is taking his fight to the next level by suing OpenAI, the very company he co-founded. What's the big deal? Well, Musk is shedding his former colleagues, accusing them of betraying the original purpose of their creation. It's like a classic tale of betrayal and broken dreams. According to Musk, OpenAI was meant to be a non-profit, but it turned into a closed-source subsidiary of Microsoft, prioritizing profit over the greater good. He's even cooking up his own AI company, xAI, with plans to open-source its technology. But here's the twist. OpenAI is firing back, arguing that their shift to a for-profit model was necessary to keep up with the times. You see, becoming a leading research lab requires massive funding. And I'm talking serious cash, like the $6.6 billion they just raised or the potential $40 billion investment from SoftBank. Such huge sums necessitate a for-profit structure. And here's the kicker. Musk tried to join the party, but he was rejected. OpenAI is alleging that Musk wanted to buy their tech for his own projects and even offered $44 million for his shares. But when the talks fell through, he went rogue and launched xAI. In response, OpenAI unleashed a counterattack, accusing Musk of spreading misinformation and attempting a hostile takeover. They're even suing him for leaking confidential information. And here's where things get really juicy. Musk made a whopping $97.4 billion bid to buy OpenAI, but it was shot down immediately. And now he's suing them again. This time he's demanding a fast-track trial this autumn, like he wants to settle this once and for all. It's a high-stakes game of corporate chess where every move counts. As the AI race heats up, the industry is at a critical juncture. Will it prioritize innovation and fair competition, or rely on regulatory roadblocks to maintain dominance? The outcome will shape not only the future of AI but also global power dynamics in the tech world. Now it's your turn. What do you think of OpenAI's efforts to ban DeepSeek? Is it a genuine concern for national security or a cunning move to eliminate competition? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. Thanks for watching.